The pads came on. All right, let's talk about this for a second. The Lions had their first padded practice. We need to talk about more. I know Chris came out and talked about different videos as well, but training camp day 5, pads day, Aiden Hutchinson versus Penei Sewell. We're talking about a strength that is becoming elite. And I want to talk about one of these players in particular, but I also want to talk about why this is so great and how we have elite talent going against each other. And I think you're going to want to hang out for this. So the pads came on. We've already talked about this. Aiden Hutchinson is looking good. And I know everybody could be like, duh, right? Well, here's the thing. Hutch isn't getting the love in all the areas that he needs to get the love. I think a lot of people view Aiden Hutchinson as a ready-made product coming into the NFL. We've talked about that. We talked about it. But here's what Penei Sewell had to say about Hutchinson, which is, I think, the most important thing. He said, besides Hutchinson being stronger, pause. All right, and I can get up. This is from Pride of Detroit. I love shouting these guys out. Okay, it's right down here. It says, besides Hutch being stronger, pause. Being stronger? So you can look, and there's a photo of him on this, and he's standing next to Bugs, right? Look at how big he looks. Like, Hutch looks big. I mean, this is unbelievable. And I think it's one of those things where he's always looked big, but he was never a massive D end. He comes in, he's one of those guys that comes in at like 260, right? He comes in at like 260. I think 268 is his listed weight on PFF, right? And that's good size. He has good speed, but he's not one of these guys that is like an edge that's 280, 290. But Penei Sewell said he comes in being stronger. He also said he's a lot more comfortable. You can see it. Okay. He's a lot more comfortable. He's spent time. He's been doing the reps. He's been watching tape. He's not one of these guys who rests. You saw him. I saw him play at U of M. And the dude just got better every year. And even when he had a good year, he came out his last year in college and had a ridiculous year that got him on the he was there in New York for the Heisman Trophy on the ballot, best defensive player in college football. All right, because he switched gears. He switched gears. And now Sewell is saying of Hutch after practice, he's coming at a different speed. You know what that sounds like to me? It sounds to me like a guy who switched gears. We've seen him do it before. When he settles into the speed of a game, he goes. Penei said he now knows the speed of the game. He knows what he's doing. He's got the playbook under his belt, and he's just more comfortable. Okay. Let's talk about last year. We had Hard Knocks last year, and it was the first preseason game. I want to take you back in time just a little bit. All right, it was the first preseason game. Hutchinson is on the field. He plays the series, and he comes off, and dude can't even speak. He's so winded. He's so gassed. He's so tired. And all of us kind of collectively looked at each other, and we're like, what's going on? Like, why is he so tired? And he even admitted, like, it'll get better. First NFL reps, like, tried to figure it out. The speed of the game was too much. Like, even for a guy like him, who was playing in the Big Ten against good offensive linemen, the speed was just too much. So now he comes into the NFL. He's got a year under his belt. Penei Sewell is sitting here saying he's a lot more comfortable. You can see it. He's stronger. And what that means is that last year, Aiden Hutchinson was a strength. This year, he's going to be elite. I am going to come out here and say, and I know this isn't a extremely hot take or anything like that, but isn't it? Because who else has come out and said Aiden Hutchinson is going to be elite this year? I haven't heard anybody saying that. And if Aiden Hutchinson can come out and he can be elite and you can move everybody else around and have them do different things, then this defense has the opportunity to take a step from what they were the back half of last year, which was a top 20 defense, and or a team that only allowed 20 points per game, 21 points per game, and it allows them not just to be an okay defense, but a good defense. Because when you have an elite player on the edge, it changes your entire defense. Yeah, I'm talking about a Bosa. I'm talking about these different players throughout the years that made teams what they were. I'm talking Mac. I'm talking Strahan. I'm talking these guys that just did different things. Now, I don't think Hutch is ever going to be that 22, 21, 20, 19, 18 sacks in a season guy. Maybe. I mean, he could get into the high teens, right? But I don't know if he's going to be that. He's not going to be Von Miller. Okay, that's not even what we're looking for out of him. But what about like a DeMarcus Ware? What about these players that are solid all around defensive ends? All right, yeah, like a Bosa. All right, and I think he can be that and some. So I'm really excited to see what he does, and I think it also helps because he's going up against Penei Sewell every single day, or Taylor Decker every single day, mostly Sewell. So he's sitting here playing against just a very, very good tackle in Decker, or a guy that's probably going to be an elite level tackle, or at least an elite level talent at this point in Penei Sewell. They're growing together. How beautiful is that? In the first two drafts that Brad Holmes has, he goes right tackle and then left end. And so what you have is you get these two guys that get to grow up, they get to learn off of each other, they get to be better off of each other, and just go from there. Everything has to be just a little bit better if you're going against Sewell to get by him. You have to be a little bit stronger because he's so strong. And now Hutch is doing the same thing back to Sewell. And Sewell's talking about his strength. That is massive. We all remember last year during Hard Knocks when Sewell was like, oh man, he got me with that one. I wasn't expecting that with Hutchinson. Well, there's probably not a lot that they're doing to each other that's not expected anymore, but you can see the difference already. You see the difference physically and you see the difference on the field. This isn't the only one that was making headlines. Josh Paschal had some good wins over Jermaine Ifedi, which I mean, it is what it is. But like, if you have a guy like Pascal that's stepping up, it's just nice to see him healthy. If I can be honest, like if he gets an entire camp in, he could grow so much because he didn't get to play in training camp last year. They're saying that Aleem McNeil, that 20 pounds that he has shed, it shows in his quickness. Man, oh man, just impressive. And he's still maintaining the power. This is becoming a strength for the Lions. It's already last year, it started coming to its own at the end of last year, but now the defensive line is becoming a strength. And it's so good to see because the offensive line is so good. So you just hope the defensive line going up against them every day, all day is going to improve them as well. Win in the trenches. We always talk about it. I'm sure I'll make more videos about it. See you on the next one. Thanks for watching. Hit the subscribe button. Leave a comment. Love reading them.